JDs and Landsmen, welcome back to the channel. In this video, as you can hopefully tell, we will be ranking every single agent in Valorant based on how homophobic they are. That's right, everybody. This is a 100% factual tier list, so make sure to take everything seriously. Before we get started, a very large percentage of you guys are not subscribed for some reason. So if you somehow enjoy this video, then please consider subscribing. You can always unsubscribe if you like, and enjoy the video. Okay, so very quickly, we're going to go over the rankings. At the very bottom, we have is actually gay tier. Now, I mean, fairly self-explanatory. This is for the people that are literally gay within the law, or are just gay as how I perceive them. You know, either one, I'm sure we'll have a few people in here. The next one is fully accepting. Again, fairly self-explanatory. Those that are fully accepting of the gays will be put into that role. Nothing much more to be said about that. If you don't hate queers, then you belong in that tier, as they say. Next one is the only hates gays sometimes. And this is for the low-key homophobia, you know, not full-on. You know, you're not all about that really. You just kind of, you know, you're testing the waters with the homophobia a little bit. You know what I mean? You're not all the way there, but you're pretty bad already. The next one is despises the gays. Now again, self-explanatory. I mean, if you despise gays, you'll be put in this tier. You can't hide from me. You know what I mean? So, despises the gays. That's the tier. And the next one is Homington phobic. Now this is obviously the homophobic people that are just the worst of the worst, the very, very top. I doubt we'll have anyone put in this tier, but we'll see how the list progresses. But yeah, those are the tiers, and let's get started with the fucking rankings. Okay, so first up is Brimstone. Now, we're already aware that he's horrendously racist from the last video. So we can use that information to automatically assume that he's going to be homophobic as well. Sorry. And I'm going to assume that he does at least despise the gays. But I think... oh, fuck. I think Brimstone, he takes it to another level. I really do believe that Brimstone, he's here, he's up to this stage, and then he takes it just one step further every single time. Homington phobic role is the place for Brimstone to belong. I just can't see a universe in where he's not a horrendously racist person, so very top of the list, on to the next. Next up is Phoenix. Now, Phoenix, I feel like spits the casual homophobia. I don't think he's not yet competitive with it. It's only casual at this point. So I think we can say that he definitely isn't fully accepting. Okay, he's not fully accepting, but I don't think he's fully despising of the gays yet, if you know what I'm trying to say. I feel like he does only hate the gays, but he only hates them sometimes. Do you know what I mean? So I think we can put him in the only hates gays sometimes tier very safely and call it a day. On to the next. Rightio, now next up is Reyna. Now, using the information from the last video, we can tell that Reyna, every single person that plays her in a Valorant game, is extremely racist. Now, using that same data and information we've been given, I can confirm that every single 14-year-old that does insta-main Reyna is also homophobic. So I think we can say that Reyna does belong on the very top of this list, Homington phobic tier. I mean, there's really no other place for her to belong. I mean, the people that play Reyna regularly call people many slurs. Some slurs people haven't even heard of yet. So I think Reyna just belongs in the very top of this list, really. She was born for the top of that list, and yeah, on to the next. Rightio, now next up is Gecko. Just going to put him there. Right, now next up is Chamber. Now Chamber, he actually looks kind of fruity, in my opinion. I mean, you can disagree, you can agree, whatever. I don't give a fuck, alright? But I do actually personally think that Chamber is hiding a dark secret from his fellow agents, maybe regarding his sexuality. So I think Chamber can go into the actually gay tier. I mean, if he wants to fully come out and confirm or deny this, that would be brilliant. But for now, we're going to say that he is actually gay. And that's really all I'm going to say about that. On to the next. Alright, now next up is Harbor. And lads, we might have a back-to-back here, because in my opinion, Harbor is actually gay. He does look extremely cheeky. You can't deny that. That's already established. But I really do think... I think he might just qualify for the is actually gay tier. I mean, I'm using information from the lore of the game and also information that is present in this exact second right now. And I'm looking at him and I'm telling you he belongs in this tier. Okay, there's no other place for him. So we're going to place him there and we're going to move on to the next. And you're just going to have to deal with it. Okay, because it's my video. Fuck you. Right, now next up is ISO. I think. I actually don't know who that is. I don't play Valorant often. I haven't played it recently, so I don't know who any of the newer agents are. But I'm going to say he looks homophobic just off the bat. Okay, I know absolutely nothing about the bloke. No lore, no fucking voice lines or whatever the fuck. I don't know anything about this cunt. But I think he looks pretty homophobic. I don't think he's not gay. He's not fully accepting. He's not Homington phobic though. He's not at the very top, but he's not in the middle. He's a little bit more advanced than that, we'll say. So we'll say that ISO despises the gays. It's not all the way there. It's not all the way not there. But, you know, he despises the gays. I think that's pretty clear. On to the next. If you guys disagree with any of these, by the way, feel free to just let me know. I mean, I'm not a Valorant player, so to speak, so I don't know much about the game. But I might not qualify for the best rankings ever, but I think I'm doing a pretty good job, so let me know. But anyway, on to the next is KO. Now, KO is obviously a robot. We've established that much from the last video. So using similar data from the last video as well, he did average out in the middle. We're saying that a good 50% of the population is racist, 50% isn't. So he averages out in the middle with, you know, because he collects human data and yada, yada, yada. So I'm going to say that he does belong in the middle as well for the homophobic one. I feel like homophobia and racism go hand in hand here, guys. So I'm going to say that he does go right in the middle of this list. He only hates the gays sometimes. On to the next. Right now, Sky coming in from Australia. I think that automatically qualifies her from anything in the middle of this tier list and up. Okay, being from that part of the world. But Sky herself, I feel like she's on the calmer end of homophobia. You know, she's not fully hating gays. She's not throwing stones at them in the street. You know what I mean? She's maybe giving them a funny look instead of a full-on hate crime, we'll say. So I'm going to say that she only hates the gays sometimes, but really this could be anywhere. We don't know her, but I'm going to say that she does only hate the gays sometimes. On to the next. All right, now Viper. Viper is definitely trying to hide her identity. Okay, we can see she's got the mask covering her face up. I mean, what have you done that for? Okay, obviously people like to hide their identity when they go and spit some homophobic things online, but she's not done it very well. She's not all the way there. She's not completely covered up her whole face like the next person who we're going to talk about in a second. I think she's kind of done a half-assed job and they realize, you know, I'm not saying things that are that bad. You know, no one's going to want to dox me really, so I'll go half. I'll do half the measure of it and we'll leave it at that. So I'm going to say definitely only hates the gays sometimes because really, I mean, you can tell just by looking at her, she does hate gays. It's just a matter of how often. So we'll place her in that tier. But really, she could also belong in the despises the gays tier. I mean, this is a pretty tricky one, actually, but I'm going to play it safe. I'm going to put her in there, and we're going to move on to the next. Right, now, next up is Cypher, I think, hopefully. Yep, that's his name. Cypher, now, as I mentioned with the last agent, completely covering up his face. I mean, come on, man. You're not even trying to hide it anymore. Like, he's just going out there and basically telling everyone, hey, guys, I'm trying to hide my identity because I'm racist and homophobic. That's what he's saying, pretty much. So, pretty sure that's actually a voice line of his. But anyway, we'll put him on the top because that's where he fucking belongs. I mean, no question. Look at the cunt. Like, what's he trying to hide from? He's trying to hide from his horrific racial and homophobic abuse that he spits online. His absolute hate speech. Things that could land him in a federal prison online that he said. He's trying to hide from that past or future. Who knows? He might still be a homophobic man. We don't know anything about him because he's hiding his identity. So we can assume that he's on the very top of this list. We can assume the worst of the worst very safely here with little room of failure. So we'll put him there. On to the next. The fuck am I talking about, bro? Alright, next up is Neon. We established in the last video that she's racist, likely because her main ability resembles a whip pretty badly. So if she's already racist, right, and she's showcasing off her history of slave ownership, I'm going to say back in the slave-owning times, people weren't so accustomed to, how do I put this? Two people of the same gender becoming intertwined. I don't think the people back then were very accustomed to this. So Neon's going to go on the despises the gay. She doesn't even know what a gay is yet, because she's still fucking whipping the fucking slaves in her backyard, right? She's back in the older days, doesn't even know what a gay is yet, but I'm sure that she would despise them had she known what that was back in the time. So we'll say despises the gays. Yeah, on to the next. Next up is Deadshot. Is apparently a female. It's good to know. I don't know much about Deadshot, really. I just don't know anything. I don't even know who the fuck that is, right? Like, I've literally got no... I don't play Valorant. Who is that? I don't know what they do. Nothing, never heard of them. So, I think we could have our first fully accepting here. I don't know, because I want to put someone in fully accepting. But, nah, you know what? If I'm going to put someone in fully accepting, I feel like I need to know. I feel like I need to know that they're fully accepting, not just guess. So, unfortunately, Deadshot, you're going to have to go on the only hates gays sometimes. I mean, it's not my choice, really. Well, it is, actually, but it's not my choice because I don't know who you are. That's your fault, mate. You should have told me. So, unlucky. On to the next. Next up is Sage. Now, Sage... Okay, we are actually going to have our first fully accepting here, and I'll tell you why. Sage, very, fucking basic agent or operator, whatever the fuck you call him. One of the first in the game. One of the base ones, and, everyone knows how to play Sage. Very simple, very fucking, you got a wall and, like, a slowy thing, and, it's not that difficult. It's not that confusing. She lives a very simple life, okay? And I feel like simple people are usually happy people, if you know what I'm trying to say, and these happy people don't like to get angry when thinking about gay people, so I feel like Sage is fully accepting. I also just do believe that Sage is fully accepting, just full stop. I mean, that's all I really had to say, but you know what I mean. Anyway, so we'll put her in there. On to the next. Okay, now next up is Raze. Now, Raze is actually gay, and this is the first person on this list that I can actually say with 100% confidence where they belong in this list, because Raze, in the law, right, is actually a homosexual person. Okay, is seen kissing this individual here at the very end of the tier list. So, you'd expect her to be in the is actually gay tier, and there's really nothing else I can say about that. I mean, Raze is going to have to go in the is actually gay tier on to the next, so congratulations, Raze. And as I said, on to the next. Next up is Fade. Fade's an interesting one, because she's going kind of for the emo look here, with the makeup and whatnot on her head, but I don't know. I feel like she's trying to put on a persona of herself, if you understand what I'm trying to say. Because usually, with Cypher and Raze kind of thing, how they're hiding their identity, they're trying to cover up. I feel like Fade is doing a similar thing, but doing it differently, doing it smarter. Instead of just covering up her face with a bit of cloth, she's actually changing her identity to make it look like she's an emo, to make it look like she is a homosexual person. But I'm not falling for it. Okay, I'm not falling for it. I know she's homophobic. I know she is. Okay, I know. I don't even know why I'm still talking, because I know where she belongs on this list. It's the very top, Homington phobic. I mean, if you put that much effort into trying to hide and protect your identity as a homophobic person, you've got to belong at the top of the list. I mean, there's just no fucking place for it. There's no place for it on this video, except for the top of this list, really. That's the only place. So, I mean, top of the list instantly for Fade. I mean, what the fuck were you thinking, stupid cunt, trying to hide from me, mate? Get out of here. On to the next. Alright, now next up is someone. That's Yoru, I think. Yobo, some shit like that. I don't know. He's got them clones, doesn't he? There's a very specific tier on this list where he belongs, and I'll tell you what that tier is in just a second. I feel like he's got his ability where he can make clones himself and whatnot and send them out. Alright, I feel like he's the man. He's been given the opportunity, and I feel like he's the kind of man to have taken it, in where he would have used these clones to perform acts upon himself as the clone. If you understand what I'm trying to say, then congratulations. If you don't understand what I'm trying to say, what I'm basically trying to say is that Yoru has sex with himself. That's right, everybody. He does that very regularly. I'm just going to say he's actually gay. I mean, I'm not judging. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but that's just where he belongs, unfortunately. I think there's just no way that you can get away with that and think you're not going to go on that tier, mate. All right, so I know you're hoping for better, buddy, but that's where you've got to belong. On to the next. All right, next up is Sova. Now, Sova is instantly just the angriest looking man I think I've ever fucking seen. I mean, what could you have to be that angry about? All right, we established in the last video that there was a racial minority stood behind the camera taking his photo, and he was not happy about that. But I am here to offer you guys an alternative idea as to where his angers come from. What if instead of a racial minority behind the camera, it was a homosexual individual, a sexuality minority, if you will. So, we just can't confirm nor deny who exactly was behind the camera. It's definitely one of those two people. So there's a 50-50 chance, and I'm a gambling man, alright, so I'm gonna fucking take that chance and say Sova belongs on the top of this list. Okay, you can't get away with looking that angry about someone's sexual orientation and think you don't belong on the very top of the list. So, on to the next. Disgusting human. On to the next. Next up is Astra. That's the bitch. Astra. I don't really know much about Astra. I kind of stopped playing when she came into the game, I think. So, I didn't really get to know her very well. Didn't really get to understand the agent operator that she was. So, Astra, we're going to say only hates the gays sometimes. If you guys disagree, if you guys have any alternative reasoning as to where she might belong in this list, please let me know. I'm begging, because I don't know where she should go on this list. I don't know anything about her. I don't know much about this. I don't know much about that. So, we'll put her in the only hates gays sometimes. And I'm sure I'm right. I'm sure I'm right. I'm sure most people do only hate gays sometimes, but we'll say she belongs there. On to the next. Next up is Breach. Fuck. Now, Breach and Brimstone, in my opinion, are brothers. Okay, I don't care if that's law accurate or not, but they are. So, raised in the same household, I'm gonna say, there's really, if we've established that Brimstone is top of the list, we can safely put Breach up there, right next to him as well. Because, what are the odds that they both are raised in the same environment by the same people, grow up with the same rules and whatnot, yada yada, without embracing the same ideas about the way they perceive life and people? So, Breach top of the list, really. Like, he's just not even hiding it. There's a common trend with everyone at the top of this. They're all very angry looking, very fucking mean people. So, I feel like I can confidently put him on the top of that list. Lots of indications as to why. And on to the next. Right now, Jet, similarly to Reyna, really just the kind of people that play Jet, at least in my time when I play. I don't know if Jet's used anymore or not, but when I played, the kind of people that played Jet were the kind of people to load into the game and call the first person they see a slur, depending on if that's, fucking the N-word or the F slur, as you might want to say. It's not my choice, it's really theirs, but there's a 50-50 chance, they spin the wheel and say whatever slur comes up. So I'm going to say Jet has to go on the top of the list, unfortunately. There's just no way you can even have that as an option. For the first word you're going to say in the voice chat of a game without just being a homophobic person, really. Ugh. On to the next. Next up is Omen. Now, similar with Omen as to other agents on this list, he's covering up his identity, but he's gone all the way. We don't even know if that's a fucking human being. Maybe we can assume it is, but he might be like a ghost or like a bit of like a shadow figure or some bullshit. So I don't really know, but he's not a robot, I don't think. But I don't think he's completely a man, if you understand what I'm trying to say. So this is really a tricky one. I don't know if that means that he's fully accepting or if he absolutely despises the gays. I really don't know. You know what? Let's spin a fucking wheel for it. Let's spin a wheel for it. Let's do it. Alright, so here we have hates the gays and fully accepting as two things for the wheel spin, and whatever it lands on, we're going to place them in. Okay, because honestly, I can't make the decision myself. Fully accepting. Alright. There we go, everybody. Omen officially is fully accepting of the gays. Congratulations, Omen. That's where you belong on the list, buddy. I mean, it was up to the gods to decide where to put you, and they decided that you were a fully accepting person, so good for you, mate. Congratulations, on to the next. Alright, now last up is Killjoy. Now, Killjoy is actually a tricky one. And you might be surprised to hear this. You might be going, hang on, but Killjoy is openly a homosexual with Raze, is she not? And that may be true. Okay, that may be true, but something that I heavily overlooked from last video was that she is German. Okay, I think we did establish that she was German, but I didn't go into full depth with it. She has a voice line where she's mentioning her German ancestry, her German efficiency, her German engineering. Who was known in the German world for engineering and accelerating the process at which things were made during a certain era? I'll let you guys sit with that one for a minute, but what I'm basically trying to hint at is that Killjoy is Hitler. Okay, guys, Killjoy is a Nazi at the very least, but well, she's pretty much Hitler, growing up from the old Germany. So I honestly think this whole gay thing she's putting on is a facade. Okay, I'm sorry, but I'm not falling for it today. There's absolutely no way I'm falling for that. I mean, she's sitting there thinking, oh, I'm fucking getting it. You know how the Nazis all fled Germany after the war to Argentina and whatnot? That's basically what she's done. And she's trying to live a new life as a gay person. But I'm not falling for that. Not for a fucking second, alright? So, you're going to be charged for your crimes, and unfortunately, the very top of the list is the place for you, Killjoy. Fuck. Really not much more can be. That's absolutely disgusting human being. Not much more that can be said about that, really. Fuck. And there we go, guys. Those are the rankings. Jesus Christ. Let me know what you thought of the video. If it was fucking shit, terrible, let me know about it. If it wasn't, and that's cool, but let me know about that also. Hit the subscribe button. That'll be pretty sick. Trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, guys. We're on 749 or something at the moment. And it would be brilliant if we could just, every subscription just helps us get closer and closer. You know the drill. Hit the button, hit them all. Hit all the buttons, hit the likes, leave a comment about something, hit the bell, press subscribe, the bell button as well, and the subscribe and the like. Don't forget that. Dislike it as well. I don't give a fuck. Do whatever you want. I just do something. Click something down there. First button you see. Give it a big click. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.